Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book 91. We're talking to you guys about Ultimatum, episode 2, episode 3. Again, guys, I'm gonna need y'all not to spoil the show for me. Okay, I need y'all to not spoil the show for me. All right, but we're gonna do episode 2 and episode 3 of the show. It's been crazy, it's been wild. I mean, I want to say first and foremost, Alexis, I just want to say this straight. She a cold damn liar. She a cold damn liar. Baby, Colby did not tell you from the first jump of a conversation that he didn't fancy you. You were pushing it. She's not ready to marry. I'm sorry. She's not ready to marry. And, if Hunter wants to marry her, that's all by all means fine. But, what you're not going to do is lie on people's names because you felt rejected and you pushed the envelope. But we're going to talk more about episode 2 because episode 2 was also crazy as well. There's so much to dive into in this particular 2 episodes that I don't know where to begin. I'm definitely going to merge episode 2 and 3 and some of the things that happened because boy, there was a lot that was going through. So if you want to hear more of my thoughts or the review of this particular show, do me a massive favor, like it, share, subscribe, click on that glorious bell button for the notification of the uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, you really know what it is, baby. You got the minerals, you got the minerals. Stay hydrated because the streets out there, they are hot. All right, cool. Let's get into some videos. I said a review of this particular situations, all right, because there was a lot that was going on. All right, let's first and foremost look at the first one I want to talk about. We Alexis and Colby's conversation, right? Alexis approached him at the table, asking him, saying what he felt, and he told her, "Look, I don't see no future." Then she pushed him for an answer, after complimenting him and basically, basically begging, man. Um, you know, it's so interesting because she was begging him, like, "Baby, I need you to relax. Like, I need you to relax," because you were begging him, right, sis? You were begging him. Okay, you're begging him to try and get an answer as to why he won't choose you. Okay, and the only reason why, that the only reason why Alexis even went crying to Hunter later on is because nobody wanted you. Let's not pretend. Listen, let's listen. Let me even break this down. Yeah, let me break this down. Let's break down. Let's break this down. Let's break down. Yeah, episode 2 and 3. Okay, let me put that in my notes here so y'all can see this. Alexis breakdown for episode 2 or 3. All right, please no spoilers. All right, please no spoilers. Please no spoilers. Okay, look, old girl Alexis, yeah, I know she got proposed to. Look, I know she got proposed to, but here's my biggest thing, sis. The only reason why you went crying back to Hunter is because Colby rejected you. And do you know what? She's got a nasty attitude. Very nasty. Oh, her attitude real nasty. I listen. I saw it for the first time, but this one is even more nasty. You're telling me that when a brother tells you he's not interested in you, you push for an answer as to why he said he's not attracted to you, very politely, I might add as well. Okay, and you should have got the hint from that particular issue, right? He's not feeling you, he don't want you, he don't like you. It's okay not to be okay, but it's not okay to try and ruin someone's market because you feel hurt by that. Then after that, we saw this in episode 1. I told you guys when she reacted by saying, well, it's not like I'm not pretty or whatever. And I was like, but he never said you're not pretty. He just said that he's not attracted to you. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, where do you get off thinking that someone has to find you attractive? Where do you get off thinking that everyone has to like you? Right? And then try to power it off by saying, oh, everyone, I didn't make no connections here. Like, I didn't click with anybody. No, nobody wanted you because your attitude stinks. All right? Right? Your attitude stinks. Okay, it absolutely reeks. And the fact that exactly what people were putting in the chat from the first episode, we found out she was saying, "Oh, I thought because I look like Maddie, that's why he would want me." Well, if you think because you look like somebody, he should want you. How about the qualities? How about the content of your heart? That's when I realized. See the comment that she made about money? it sounds like she's very shallow. It sounds like there isn't much depth to her. It sounds like, listen, we're lacking some content to the character of this individual person. Because if you think someone should want you because you look like somebody, my friend, we're out of the trench. We're in the trenches right now, right? How can you just think because you look like somebody's ex, you should be entitled for that person to like you and think you're attractive? How can you think that? Where's your mentality at? But fast forward now on to episode 2. Okay, so episode 2 and 3, specifically, what I didn't like about her behavior, okay, why was the way she obviously first of all confronted Colby in the first place, right? Um, you know, you know, eh, he told her the truth, and then instead of leaving it there, right? Instead of leaving it there, all right, she kind of beggy over Colby. I'm like, babe, why are you begging him? He's basically told you he does not want you, right? He told you he doesn't want you, and you still trying to beg it by dropping all these compliments at first and saying, "How could you not?" Basically saying, "How could you not want me, babe?" Can I be honest with you? It's time to self-reflect and time to be self-aware. You are not the finest babe on earth, and even if you were, not everybody wants you. And don't you realize arrogance is a turn-off? Don't you realize arrogance makes you unattractive? Don't you realize arrogance is a repellent rather than drawing people in? Why do you think you're God's gift to earth? My sis, I need you to self reflect and be self aware. That is somebody who's lacking self awareness of who they are and how they come across to other people. When we talk about self awareness, self-awareness is about you being able to see how your thoughts contribute towards your behavior, how your behavior contributes towards how your behavior affects others. Why couldn't you see that your behavior is a turnoff? Why couldn't you see the way you spoke about money and said it's about marriage is a business, a finance, it's about finances, that this brother might have been turned off, right? Okay, then fast forward, you end up leaving the conversation. You're saying, oh, he strung me along. Where? Where did he string you along? Because you're on day 2 and he's told you quite directly, "Me no want you. Me no want you." Listen, hear me very clearly what I'm saying to you, okay? Alexis, "Me no want you. I don't want you, okay? I'm not attracted to you. How much more I got to say it? Why are you so arrogant thinking that I want you?" And then the audacity, right? The unmitigated gall, and we can tell this is somebody, and this is when I realized she's got a nasty attitude. And if you end up marrying her without sorting this out, and then Hunter was there, like, this is what I love about this is what I love about Alexis. She always tells the truth, unadulterated. Are you snapped in your head, bro? What's going on? Right? Like, like you're actually moving mad. You're actually moving mad. Like, honestly, you're moving mad. And I'll tell you why you're moving mad, Hunter. Because at the point, all right, where you didn't even know the full situation, but you're getting gas because you thought you were gonna have a little more moment with Madeline. Anyway, so now obviously he tells her that. She then gets up, goes to the table where Madeline and Hunter is. And by the way, this was a cop block move, as well as her trying to oust Colby. It was a cop block move. All right, had nothing really to do with Madeline. She didn't care about Madeline. Madeline wasn't in her fourth thought. She wasn't caring about Madeline. It was only about her because she is a spoilt brat, right? That when she gets her feelings hurt, everybody must suffer. How come? How come? How come? So I'm looking at the situation, and then she goes over, all right. She goes over, says that to Madeline. I can see why you've been hurt in the past because he hurt me in the same way. Are you right? Are you snapped? You're snapped because how is it you can get up and say I've been hurt in the exact same way that Madeline's been hurt? Do you even know how Madeline's been hurt? Do you know? Do you know how Madeline's been hurt? He told you bluntly the truth. You asked for it and you got it. You begged at the table Okay. And I told you, I don't want you, man. I want you. And you're still feeling the way you're feeling in your feelings so much. You got to ruin Colby. You also wanted to ruin the Hunter and Madeline situation because that's what you end up doing in the end, right? It was disgusting to watch. Honestly, as a human being, I was just disgusted. I was like, what's this? I was like, ugh. No, 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 B. But it's just like, yo, I was like, like, why are you doing that? Like, that's just so childish. And you know what? Even children don't do some of the stuff you're doing. It's like, come on, this is you so in your feelings, baby. Like, oh man, I was like, yo. And then, um, later on, she goes on to Hunter, to talk to him, crying at him and, basically say, nobody want me, nobody want me, nobody want me. Like, I'm tired. But you only were crying like that because you're nobody. The truth is, you got rejected by everybody because your attitude stinks. Maybe if you're a pretty gal with a pretty attitude, but you didn't have that. You could have been a gal with a pretty attitude, but your attitude, let me stop. Your attitude is just bad. And why are you expecting people to be drawn to you? So then you go to Hunter, right? You went back to Hunter, really and truthfully, only because you couldn't get none, right? This is why I feel like then them going to get proposed, nothing's going to change. Okay. She's always been the person who leads Hunter, and Hunter's always been the follower. Hunter ain't no hunter. He's the one that's been hunted. Hunter ain't no hunter. He's the one being hunted. Right? Yeah, exactly. He enables her, right? Oh, I felt so bad seeing her cry. So I'm gonna need you to fix up because your behavior is enabling her. Because she goes and does what she does, and you go and say she's just being brutally honest and she's just being urged. You know what I mean? Just love it. And it's like, no, like, sir, oh man, 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 man. Oh man. Listen, and I said it. Didn't I say it? I only watched episode one. I told you the moment she said he let me run the show, I said, yep. Then he's always going to be running after her. He's always going to have the tail between his legs. He's always going to be the hunted. He's always going to be the prey. He's never going to lead this relationship because the truth of the matter is she's always going to have the power and she's always going to lead it and she's always going to be in control. Right? That's honest truth. Yes, Jasmine, good point. She thought no one else would want Hunter, but Hunter got some skills. Hunter's emotionally intelligent, but he's not, unfortunately, he's not intelligent in the emotional sense of understanding there is better for me here. I don't need to be with this woman. I don't need to be here. I don't need to. I don't need to be here. Right? So I'm not best pleased looking at that situation. I was confused as heck looking at them like what um you know but remember I said it earlier on, Hunter and Alexis. Hunter said from the beginning, I said, are these couple, remember I said in the very first episode, are Hunter and Alexis, are they plants? I said that. Are they plants? Right? Because Hunter said, oh, I already know my answer. And she said, well, if you already knew your answer, we would have been married already. And I said, then well, why are you not here? Why are you guys here? I said this from the very first episode. Why are you here? You're here to waste time and waste space. Because honestly, in the truth, okay, honestly, in truth, you already knew what you wanted to do. You've ruined other people's experience. You've ruined other people's experience. Trust me, Sally, it will be bad. Bad. So yeah, man. I was just disappointed, that Hunter just took her back that so soon. Um, when she said obviously at the dinner table, oh, basically she was saying, I don't want anyone to have my man, if I wanted everybody to have my man, I would have dumped him, I said, babe, but you knew what show you were coming on to is the Ultimatum. Okay? You knew what you were coming on to, right? But you pretending as if you don't. But the thing is, fear guides Hunter so much. As much as she likes to put on that she's this glorious, wonderful, I got my stuff together, fear drives her so much. That's what made her say, I'm making an ultimatum now. Either we get married now or I go home alone. Instead of letting Hunter go through the process, because that's what you signed up for, right? Instead of letting Hunter have the choice to go through the process, you buckled out because nobody wanted you. The truth of the matter is, this show did teach Alexis something. You ain't all that. You ain't all that. Right? The show showed you something. Your attitude stink. The show showed you something. Hunter, you need him more than he needs you. And when he finally realizes that, this relationship might be over. Right? The show showed that this seems to be your better half. And should he actually smell the Kenko coffee that is brewing at the end of the coffee, he might just say, this ain't the relationship for me. She's found somebody who's willing to be limited by her. She found somebody who's willing to be controlled by her. She found somebody who's willing to be underneath the cap and the lid of her. And thus so it works. Should he find himself bigger than the lid, bigger than the container, bigger than the cap she's put on him, then guess what? This is going to end in a way that he's going to walk away because he's going to realize he can do much better. But for now, he's still in the matrix. He's still deeply embedded in Alexis's matrix because the speed of how he took her back when she gave the ultimatum told me that all I needed to know. So either you're still in the matrix, Hunter, or there's another aspect, which is that y'all were just game playing. Y'all were here for TV moments. Y'all were here for your 15 seconds of fame. And it weren't really about the show, but really about just getting your faces on TV. Because you waste everybody's time, to be honest. Right? And when she put the ultimatum out, sis, your man have been chosen. Your man have been chosen. Right? Your man have been chosen. So now we got a situation, right? Now you got a situation where you're at the table and you're making this ultimatum. But before you made it, or even after, I should say, the ultimatum it happened anyway. And at this ultimatum, you then decide to come at Colby one last time, right? You thought it'd be cute. You think you're doing your good human job by coming at Colby and saying Colby basically very first interaction told me he's not attracted to me. Why are you lying like that? Why are you lying like that? That's a Karen move. No. We have to be real. Alexis is a Karen, and that's dangerous. And she do that with her own people. I wonder what she would do to me. Just gonna be real. She does that with her own people. That Karen behavior. I only wonder what she'll do to me. I wonder what she would do to me. Because if you can do that to your own fellow people, my guy, like full on lie like that. Full on lie like that. Sat there and lied to people on the table into the ultimatum couple's face and said, whoa, he sat there first conversation and he just basically said he's unattracted to me. Did he say that? Did he say that on the first conversation? I looked at her and I said, yo, when you get older, those little white lies ain't white no more. Oh, they dangerous because they can get someone in prison, because they can get someone killed. Like your lies now like that have a detrimental effect on people. All right. You coming out like that saying, oh, he told me I was unattractive. Why are you lying like that? That's not how the conversation went. Weaponizing those Karen behavior. I was like, nah, man. No, 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 no. Alexis, no. Alexis, no. Alexa, no. Play no. No, 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 no. Colby don't love you, and you know that. So sis, I need you to fix up. Like, and then, and I'm like, if Hunter watches us back, you better, you better be aware what kind of woman you have. Hunter, you better be aware of what kind of woman you have, because this woman was willing to lie on someone else's name, just to get ahead, just because she'd been rejected. So she offered an ultimatum, and Hunter took it and ran with it. And unfortunately, the cycle of their relationship is going to continue. The cycles of their relationship that were a problem will continue because they didn't go through the process. That she didn't give him time. She reacted out of fear. Okay, and uh, I told you. Listen, see, we talk. You see, when we talk about, let's say, for instance, I like my favorite topic. People were talking about Jada made Will Smith get up and slap somebody. This stuff right here is what we're talking about. This is the real stuff here. It isn't a black people thing. It's a people thing. This white woman has decided to lie on lie on a person how do we say it? Unprovoked, right? Unprovoked. Yeah, Faye, you're absolutely right. It's only going to get worse. It is only going to get worse. If you're going to marry and you see these traits, you don't ignore them. You run. Listen, the show is a blessing because it shows people in a true light. If I saw that for my girl, I would be like, yeah, I don't need that. I don't need that girlfriend. That's the dangerous woman. If I saw that after the show, I'll be like, I don't need this woman. That's dangerous. Because she's waiting for her opportunity. She'll lie on me too. Yeah. When she feels rejected from me or feels hurt by what I've done, she will do the same to me. We don't want to encourage this type of relationship for anybody. This is not healthy. This is not healthy at all. It's not healthy at all. It's not healthy at all. Um, and so I'm disappointed. Uh, you know, it's I can't believe it. And you know what's funny? Because then Lauren had to pipe up and actually defend. Had to then Lauren had to pipe up and defend Colby at that point because she hadn't experienced what thing had experienced, and that shut her up instantly, right? That shut her up instantly. Oh man, I just said to myself, like, yo, some people are just not, some people are just not nice people, man. It's honestly, some people are just not nice people. All right, cool. Let's talk about Colby then. Colby breakdown. Let's talk about him because he got sent to the gallows twice. Colby. So Colby's situation really interesting, I think, because uh we saw him kind of cozying up with Lauren, having conversations with Lauren and getting to know her better. And at the dinner table, when they finally got speaking, he chose Lauren, and Lauren had chosen him. I believe Lauren was going to choose him. Okay, right? Lauren was going to choose him. What was interesting in episode 3 specifically, he said, I can help you overcome with the kids situation. It was a language. That's when I said again, I've got a problem with Colby because he's got a savior complex. And that savior complex is what makes people feel like they're enclosed. And that's why they have to break free, the same way Madeline had to break free. Oh, my nose there, sorry. Right? The same way Madeline had to break free is how Lauren would have to break free because he sees himself as a savior. There's also an ounce of superiority that he feels, I think, as well, when it comes to dealing with the partner he chooses, because I think he enjoyed the fact that she didn't want to have kids at first, but then then said she's open to having kids with him, because he openly went out and said, okay, all right, went open out and said straight up from the jump, from the top, bada bing, bada bam, I can help you overcome with the kids situation. I said, shouldn't it be like, you know what? I love the conversations. I love the fact that you're open with me, and I love the fact that we were exploring the fact that how we'd maybe look at tackling the issue of kids. That's a we situation, right? But he made it an I situation. I will help you overcome the kid situation, which is probably what it's probably what pissed off Nate a little bit as well. But also as well at the same time, what it said again for me is arrogance. I will help you. Are you a savior? Is that what you're really saying? That you feel like you're a savior to this woman? That you saved her from something? And that's when I was like, okay, I don't like Colby. Colby is undercover cocky that comes out bits and parts. He's a calculated individual. He knows exactly what he's doing. And that's why Nate said he's smug and smirk. Now, should Nate done what he done? No, stupid proposal. But at the end of the day, Colby, I see it and I'm like, no, but you honestly like to be the one that rears somebody up. You've got the need to fix people, it seems, or at least take credit for fixing them. And I said, oh, okay, gotta watch out for him now because that's a bit suspect. You gotta be careful of that. Sorry. That's a bit suspect. You gotta be very careful, people like that, right? And it's like Nate said that he felt like Colby would push the envelope, right? And that Nate felt like he would try to go too far. I was just like, yeah, you know what? And it's true. Colby just wants Maddie. Okay? Colby just wants Maddie. Right? In the end, that's who he wants. And it's a good point as well. It's a good point. Colby likes women who have a level of insecurity to make him feel validated. Yes. Because what did Lauren say to us? He's nice. He's kind. I just need someone who is kind. Okay. Sis, is that all you need? I'm not saying that it isn't a big issue. No, kindness is, we need kindness. We need kindness up in here. I'm with you, girl. You need kindness. But is that all you need? Kindness? And so I think the simple fact that he was kind, that's what drew her onto him. And that's all she needed to be sold. That's all you needed. And so you realize, I think Colby picks up on these insecurities. He picks up on those weaknesses. And then he plays himself in a place of strength as your savior. You know what? I can do this for us. I'm the one that can help you get past this. I'm the one that's got the strength to push us through. So you're going to have to figure that out because that's going to eventually play old. That's going to get tired real soon. Person's going to heal eventually from that space and be like, you don't offer anything for me anymore. You don't do anything for me anymore. So he's got to really think of a different plan and strategy because that can only go so far. People grow, people learn, people expand, and people get better, hopefully. So, him holding her there because, he's being kind, it won't last long. In all honesty, it won't last long. Yeah, the knight in white, the knight in shining armor syndrome. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. 100%. And then obviously he went on later on then to deal with the situation where Nate proposed to Lauren. Now, what's really interesting is the way that Colby tried to read the situation. Okay, Colby tried to read the situation in a very unique way. If you feel like the way that the way you saw Lauren in that moment, I'm not gonna lie to you and say, you know what, bro, I felt some type of way. Oh, I'm tired when I'm warned this many times. But you know already that the situation is played. It's peak, right? Because Nate proposed. Everybody can see it ain't a real proposal. Like, let's keep it honest. Man was trying to play chess. Man was trying to make moves. Man was trying to make sure he cop blocked you. We all could see that. But your comment is what really threw me off. Your comment was what really threw me off. It's the way he said, listen, he said this, he said, oh, where is it? I just lost it again. I just lost the point I was making. Where is it gone? Ooh, baby. My notes, where's it gone? Oh man, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. Hold on, 2 sec. My notes just went out the window. There we go. Okay. So he said to her, she feels uh he feels that basically that she was really unhappy about the proposal, right? And I was like, okay, bro, instead of just saying, oh, I think you're unhappy about the proposal, why not ask her how she feels? Like, is this what you really want? Like, I'm looking at a situation, is this what you really want? Uh, like, is that what you really want to do? It would have been better to ask questions, but it's almost if he knew exactly that she didn't want that. Now, when someone does that, there's an air of arrogance behind it. Like, it's a bit like when I'm trying to play, right? And I'm trying to play and I know a girl, I'm like, but I know you don't want him though. I know you want me. You understand? I know you want me. I know you want this. There's a cocksure attitude into the way that he was asking the question, not even asking questions, the way he was saying statements just after marriage. I thought you two were, still got issues around the kid situation. Da, 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 da. Like, it would have been better to ask questions just because you're too close. Maybe somebody outside of it would have been better. They could have gone directly, but you are very close. So now it looks very gameish, very playerish, right? So that's a bit suspecty, right? That's why I was looking at like, okay, that's a bit suspect. Why you gotta say like that, right? And it's because he knew that he had Lauren in his back pocket. He knew. When you make statements with that cocksureness, it's because you know where that person is. You know where they are, right? But it wasn't long ago. Lauren was saying, you know what? Colby's been helping me work through my emotions. He sees me, he hears me, and all this kind of stuff. And then your man proposes and you say yes when you haven't sorted out the actual issues, right? You say yes when you haven't sorted out the actual issues, right? No, we'll deal with Nate specifically. Don't worry. We'll deal with Nate. We'll get on to Nate in a second. But clearly, Lauren also too hasn't understood her worth and her value, because understanding that you were firstly saying, you know what, I'm definitely not gonna be, you know, you were basically saying, you know what, for me, I know the kid situation is very important for him. He's going to find somebody who will want that, because I don't know if I want that. I don't want that. But then you talk with Colby and that changes all the way around. All right, cool. You know what? You're open to it now. Then Nate wants to marry you and you're open to the marriage without actually solving the actual issue, which is dealing with the kid situation. We can't ignore that. We can't just ignore the fact that you just had a kid situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, the biggest thing I said about deal breaker, you guys had the biggest deal breaker. You should have never been on the show, because forget that. Yours is the most obvious one. Kid or no kid, we shouldn't even be thinking about marriage. Right? But unfortunately, that's not the case. So, Lauren, you accepted a proposal because actually, just like I said earlier on, when you said all I need is someone to be kind, your standard and level of what you expect seems to be povertous. Seems to be povertous. I know that's not a word, but we're making it a word in this space. Povertous. Okay? There's no such word as povertous, but we're making it a word. Povertous. Okay? And for me, or pervertuous. I don't even know that's a word. Pervertuous is a word. Pervertuous is a word. Okay. Meaning poverty. Okay. But I'm gonna say pervertus. Anyway, so I looked at it and I was like looking at it and I was just like, yo, how do we just go past the whole kid situation? I'm gonna deal with Nate, but Lauren, I need you to think about what you're actually saying here. You're saying yes, crying, giddy, jumping up, yes, yes, but you have you forgotten that you have a big issue? So now, is the ring more important than the actual relationship? The relationship is what makes the marriage, people, not the marriage making the relationship. The relationship makes the marriage, not the marriage making the relationship. If you have no relationship, you'll have no marriage. You have no marriage. So how is it that we're going from no, I mean, going from not sure to yes now? Hmm? And how are you not reading the room? All right, cool. Uh hmm. All right, let's deal with let's deal with lover boy Nate. This stuff was moving mad, kids. Lover boy Nate. Let's break down Nate. Okay, Nate. Oh man. Oh man. Man. Oh man. Oh man. Ah, shit. Nate. What is going on with Nate? What is going on with Nate? Oh, we have to sing a song for him. Hallelujah by the glory. Hallelujah. And hallelujah by the glory. Revive Nate, oh Lord. Revive Nate, oh Lord. Because, bro, you did. You did. You did. Because how is it that, bro, you can be so scared that you now, and yes, that you now manipulate a situation, you engineer it so that because you didn't get picked, right? Because you didn't get picked by Shanique. And you know what's so interesting? I'm not saying that Shanique saw his manipulative side. I think that's not what I'm gonna say, right? What clearly Shanique saw about Nate was the fact that with Nate, maybe she just didn't want to date white. Let's just keep it a buck. I said that earlier on, didn't I? I said, listen, she had a choice between a black man and a white man, and she chose a black man. Okay, because you already know how our racial tensions be going and how we may have preferences for our own race. Now, she chose Zay, which I personally think I don't know if that's a better choice. I'm gonna be honest with you. She's between a rock and a hard place, but hey ho, I mean, I'll deal with Shanique as well in a minute. But it's like, so I already knew she was gonna choose Zay when it came down to between Zay and Nate. Now, Nate probably knew that too, but couldn't say it because it's really difficult to say it. Yeah, I honestly don't think she was attracted to him. And that's the honest truth. She just wasn't attracted to Nate, right? I think that's honestly it because he definitely gave her emotional security at the time, definitely allowed her to feel her feelings. She even said she wanted to take the things from Nate and pull it into Randall. That's what she told us. She said she would love to take the things of Nate and put it into Randall. So clearly, Randall, okay, clearly Randall, you know, has some work to do as well for her anyway. But clearly, again, Nate was doing something. Nate was definitely being able to offer something that she wanted because she wanted to put that in Randall's body. So that's clear because she was able to hold his hand. But yes, I think sexual attraction wasn't necessarily there. That made it easier because the way she was talking to Zay, I said, oh, damn. You talking about how you want to sleep in the bed naked? You telling Zay that, you know what, I sleep naked. I walk around in that house naked. I brush my teeth naked. I'm in the kitchen naked. Babe, just say that you want to freak and freak. I don't want to freak into the day and to the dawn. Just say you want to do that because that's what you're saying. Right? All right, cool. So Nate, was doing something right. Then it gets to the table where everyone's choosing, they're choosing their people. Now, he said it straight blank period. He was going to choose Shanique. All right. He was going to choose Shanique because she pretty. She beautiful. She good looking. Okay. He was going to choose her. Calm. She ends up choosing Zay. That throws him off. All right, cool. He gonna choose a second. He's like, Madeline, I'm gonna choose you. I didn't even know you had a connection with Madeline. I'm honest with you. You know what? I did not even uh I did not even know. Uh, I didn't even know, that you two had a little thing like that. Cause so the fact that you said, I was gonna choose you, I'm gonna choose you, Madeline. Weird. What are you doing, Nate? You're out here playing Povertus games. You're out here playing Hunger Games, bro. Like, what are we doing? Why is it in that moment you decide to now switch it around and begin to play this game? And then now you're saying to Madeline, I'm gonna choose you. Right? Huh? And so you then had another choice, which was April. Um, but then April got chosen, and she chose Hunter, not you. And that second rejection sent Nate and his wounded self over the edge. Over the edge. He couldn't understand why he hadn't been chosen. He can't understand why he wasn't top pick. You know why? Because probably he was saying all the right things. Probably was saying all the right things. That, you know what? He was probably just saying things to tickle women's ear. More than likely, right? He's probably just saying things to tickle her ear. Honestly. And so then when you realize that they actually didn't bite, you felt ashamed, you felt embarrassed, you felt hurt, pride kicked in, and it was just a disgusting move after Lauren and Hunter decided to propose, which I think was very selfish that Hunter and Lauren did that, because they should have gone through the process, because you know why you're here. But then after that, you then decide you want to marry or propose to Lauren, and your only reason for doing it is not because you want to propose, is because you don't want to see that smug, smirk look on Colby's face, and he's going to push the envelope to steal your girl. Fear. 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 You let fear dictate your next move. You let fear push you to a place where you proposed to your girl, but you weren't ready because you hadn't finished off the nonsense. You haven't finished off the issue that you guys had. Right? And in the bedroom, later on, after he did propose, she said, listen, I don't want to marry unless I can, when I can't promise having kids. Right? And he was ousted. The whole table was like, you desperate, bro. You desperate. How everybody saw it. Everybody saw it. Everybody saw it. Way, 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 way. Right? And so it was way too much. I mean, old girl already said, listen, I'm not gonna marry unless, I can promise a kids thing. And if she can't, she ain't gonna marry. So you're in the same square one. You must get yourself back into the process, because you're in the same square one. And you were doing that just to cop block another brother. That's scary. If you are willing to, in the context of a situation, it's scary. This does happen in real life. Certain men, they see their girl getting close to another man, and we go back after them. This is like what players do back in the, or I would even say ex-boyfriends will do when they're younger. Your girlfriend starts getting, with somebody else, and you start seeing them flourishing. And what do? You make sure, oh, I'm going to get back my girlfriend because I saw her with someone else. I saw her happy. We've all been there, right? When you're younger, we've all been there. We've all been there. Yeah, you're gonna get your girlfriend back or your boyfriend back because you know what, you saw them happy with someone else. We've all been there. We've all been there. So, but in this context, it becomes scarier because the premise of the show is that you go through this process and you try to see what happens, but you utilize the situation and manipulated it just to get her away from somebody else. In the context of this particular scene, it's scary. It's different from when you're in real life. You're meant to go through the show process. But I'm disappointed in Nate. Very big time disappointed in Nate, man. You flopped, bro, and you showed your true colors. You showed that you are wounded, and you showed that, listen, when you're wounded, how you react is that you try to you terrorize the situation around you. You make these moves that are emotionally led that cause bigger issues. Man, I'm disappointed in him. Very, very disappointed in him. That's too much ego, too much pride. You got to kill that off, man. Too much ego, too much pride. Oh man, that's so sad to see a brother go down like that. But you know, ha, my God, they challenged him though. They challenged him. All right, cool. Let's talk about another person. Let's talk about another person now. We'll talk about the situation. I want to break down Randall and April slash um Jake Randall? Whoa, no. Yeah, not Randall, sorry, Jake. Jake, April, and Ray situation. Um because there were some conversations that were being had and whoo, Chile. Yo, Jake was holding back on us, bruh. Jake was holding back on us, bruh. You know what's interesting? Situations like this reveal and show us people and what they're really, really like, right? And it looks like Jake has come to the light and understanding and seeing who his girlfriend really is. He called her all the way out. And I'm going to say this for men once again. I need them to hear me very carefully. Okay? Did you hear what April said? She said, "Yep, you're finally calling me out of my Now, Jake had said it clearly. It's always been the April show. It's always been the April show. But you know why it's always been the April show? Because you ain't showed up. It's always been the April show because you ain't showed up. And what I mean by that is you haven't said how you felt. You've kept quiet, 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 quiet. And now we are here and it blows up. And you're saying, oh, I've always been telling you. I've always been telling you. I don't know if you have. Because this looked like a pylon. This looks like a pylon, a pile up. It's been coming, right? You let her know and put. Sometimes, listen. Sometimes you need to pull your girl aside and say, "Hey, look, man, this ain't a game no more. I mean, deadly sis, you don't fix up, I'm out." But you hadn't got to that point. You never really had got to that point, right? You had never got to that point where you let her know, truthfully, you ain't playing this game no more. It's always been fluffy. Because I think for you too, and I say this from a male perspective, just I'm not trying to blast them from a male perspective. You hadn't got to that point where you're finally fully fed up. And this was it. But you were only finally fed up because you had something else. You had a baddie by your side. Yeah. Because now you got Ray. Right? Remember as well, April, you were too smug. You thought, who else would like my man with the kind of personality that he has? Right? You thought you were doing something, April. You thought you were something. You thought you were amazing. You had to be brought down a peg or two because you chose somebody who was passive. You chose somebody who didn't talk often. You chose somebody who piled on and took on more and didn't say anything and took your crap, which is why you gave us 1, 2, 3 massive speeches in 2 episodes about how you love this guy. Oh, and Jake is amazing, and Jake does this for me, and even when I'm at my worst, Jake is always coming through for me. This is a good guy, girls. This is a good guy who will take care of you, girls. But baby, you've had him for so long. You've had him for so long. You mistreated him because you could mistreat him. You mistreated him because you could mistreat him. So the constant speeches were to try and save him. The constant speeches were you trying to save the situation. Your constant speeches was you trying to make sure that, look, I love you. I care about you. Yeah, but babe, actions and words. Your actions and your words. Your actions and your words. Your actions and your words. Right? You've been screaming, I want to be a mother. I want kids. I want this. I want that. It's always been about you, he said. He said, it's always been about you. He called her out for being mean. And she said, and do you know what's really interesting? I want to let you look, you look, I'm going to say it again. Women and men, right? Women and men, I want people to pay attention because it's really important. Specifically men, though, because this is what happened to a man in this situation, right? If you don't speak, if you don't open your mouth, if you don't talk, your silence is consent. You don't have to say anything. But what you do say may harm you in your defense. You don't say anything is consent. When you don't say anything in these situations, you are consenting to the madness that she's bringing to you. He said, listen, as soon as you get home from work, you just come at me. When you get mean and angry, that's how you feel. Right? You just say whatever you feel. When you want to do it, you do it. But again, I'm gonna ask this question: why are we still here? Why are we at the ultimatum point? Why are we not discussing this? Why are we not letting her know this is unacceptable? Why has it exploded at this point? And he said, listen, I understand you got fertility issues, but I don't need to be a punching bag. Right? So he keeps a lot in. And he said the reason why he keeps a lot in is because she gets mad when he tries to explain. All right. Okay. So this is love that point, Sifra, as well. I love that point. Love that point. This is so interesting because I started to realize that, of course, April's at fault. She is. Right? April has to look at herself and go, you know what? I've contributed to the downfall of my relationship. I've contributed to the minimalizing of my man's voice. And I have to make sure I don't do that again. She has to. Otherwise, she'll continue this behavior and it'll be someone else. And then there's also another aspect, which is alongside Jake. They should be able to shut you up. They shouldn't be able to shut you up. Boldness and courage should also be a part of your weaponry. And I'm saying this as a precaution to anyone else. You know, and there's a Bible story that tells us about Peter, I believe Peter and John, and when they were imprisoned, and the Pharisees and Sadducees said, listen, we don't care what you talk about, just don't talk about Jesus. You know what I mean? We've beat you up already. We don't care about anything else, just don't preach that Jesus. And they said to them, we're sorry, we've got to talk about Jesus. We're going to have to tell the truth. I'm going to have to speak. Boldness and courage is needed, irrespective of the scenario. Boldness and courage are exposed when we are fearful. Our boldness is exposed when we are fearful in those moments. Fear is a natural response to the stimuli that helps us survive the stimuli when danger is oncoming. And so when you have boldness and courage, it is the ability to bypass the fear and to make a movement in that particular arena. And sometimes you don't want to say how you feel because you're scared of the repercussions, but you need to, because the repercussions are greater when you don't speak up. So you know, I've been there. I know it. It's hard. You get somebody who is not emotionally available. That's not emotionally stable. That's not emotionally willing to discuss your feelings. I'm with you, man. It's difficult, and it can shut you down because you're like, oh, I don't want to talk then, because you know what, you don't even listen anyway. But you've sent yourself down, spiraling down a hill that's going to end in death of a relationship emotionally. And so, you know, closing your mouth may seem like it's a good solution at the time because it solves there being warfare at the moment. But warfare sometimes is needed for peace. Solomon didn't just get peace because he was wise. He got peace because his dad fought the wars before him. There was warfare that was fought before Solomon brought peace by wisdom. All right. So, you know, we gotta look at that situation, you know, as well. So yeah, he said that to she said, and I wanted to pay attention. She said, it's good you're calling me out on my which means you don't call her out on her stuff often. She's been waiting for you. She's been waiting for you. I'm gonna say it again. A lot of times people have this people pleasing energy, right? A lot of times people have this people pleasing energy, and their inability to kind of say how they feel is because they're afraid they will hurt someone else's feelings, right? The inability to say something sometimes is because you're afraid that you're going to hurt somebody else's feelings, but you need to not think about that because you need to say how you feel, right? And she's been waiting on him she's been waiting on him to say something. She's been waiting on him to call her out and harangue her and put her, I don't like saying it, put her in her place. I don't like saying that. But she's been waiting for that. Because she told me, it's good, you're calling me out on my She's been waiting for you to do that. I keep telling us as guys, like, look, nobody's saying be rude. No one's saying be aggressive, right? No one's saying be this particular way, right? What we are saying is that you have to set boundaries effectively, right? You have to be strong. And the strength is being able to assert yourself, not be aggressive, but assertive. And when you're assertive, you're like, I don't like that situation, so I'm not doing it. I don't like what you're saying right there, so let's stop that right there. No, we're not doing that. We're moving left. Stop that. Let's go. I don't want to. I don't want to discuss this at this moment. It's not the right time. Let's discuss this a little bit later on when we're better in a better place. Assertive means taking control of that situation and asserting yourself into it, saying, "Hey, no, let's just guide it this way." Right? And so clearly that hasn't been done. That's why we're seeing April, saying you're calling me out of my stuff finally. And I hear you guys talking about the emotional manipulative. Well, clearly because he made a comment saying, "Do I have to change every time you cry? Is it every time when you cry I have to now change how I feel?" Right? Every time you cry, do I have to now kind of respond? So yeah, she uses tears as a weapon. Clearly he's seen it. And it's obviously worked in the past. And that's why I said about why would you be dropping everything? I said it again. Why would you be dropping everything? Remember, I said that earlier on in episode 1. I said the fact that you're dropping everything in episode 1 is a problem. Because if you're dropping everything, it tells me you're not leading. I'll say it again. If you're a man dropping everything, obviously context, context applied. Okay, certain context, that's not what we're talking about. But a context like this where they're dating and you drop everything, I'm asking the question, why are we dropping everything? Because of her? Then you're being led. You're not leading. You're being led. You're not leading. You know what I mean? So yeah, I looked at it and I said, okay. All right then. Sir and Jakey, yeah, it's a bit much for me. It's a bit much for me. Okay, then you know, I want to talk about obviously Ray and Jake with that as well, because Ray hasn't changed. Okay, from when she left Zay, she has not changed. Right? Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed, guys. Look, she said obviously she's not the traditional type. She said Jake was her number one. But she hasn't changed. This is it. April and Ray aren't too unalike. Now, April might emotionally manipulate, but Ray just gonna take the piss. Simple as. Ray is just going to run with it because your energy is just as passive as it was with Zay, right? Have you had enough time to learn the lesson, which is I must be more assertive by the time you get to Ray? Have you learned that lesson, sir? I don't think you have. I think you're still taking that in. Therefore, you get in a relationship with somebody who's more dominant, because she was more dominant, you're going to have the same issues, right? Ray's still got the same issues. Her lack of ability to communicate is going to force her to want to get sexually attractive, sexually intimate with him, right? There is yes, Kiki. There's a very strong physical, um, there's still a very strong physical attraction, right? There's a very strong physical attraction, very strong, that goes on between the two of them, right? And it's evident they get on well. They got similar qualities, similar things, whatever you want to call it. There's a connection there. But Ray isn't much different than April. And she will assert herself just like she has been doing in past relationships. Until he realizes this and puts up effective boundaries, he's going to be in the same relationship again. It'll be a repeat. It'll be a repeat. She'll help him get out of the last relationship to get into another relationship where he's doing the exact same thing. She's doing the exact same thing. Because if we need to learn the lessons, we need to know why we are here. Why did we stay in such a relationship for so long? We need to answer those key questions. Are we answering them? Right? That's the key question. Are we actually answering them? So there's a lot that's going on there, which I want to address. Ray said she felt it hard to say I choose Jake, and he explained it as the guilt. I don't think it's just the guilt, right? I don't think it's just the guilt. I think it is because she doesn't know how to express herself. Her lack of expression is causing her to move in the sexual energy. Her lack of expression, her ability to express through language how she feels, forces a sensual energy to grow. And that is what our brother Jake is also responding to and finding intriguing. It's coming across as like a siren seduction. But the truth of the matter is, she just hasn't developed the tongue to emote what she feels. I can see this ending in sex. Oh, I can see this ending in sex. I can see this being a year or two relationship, but it will blow up. It will blow up because until they begin to learn how to communicate, this will be a continuous issue, just like she had with Zay. Right? The same way Zay looks like a small boy to her when we're looking at him compared um to Ray, is the same thing that will happen to Jake. He will end up being a small boy to Ray because she is willing to carry the strength and the masculine energy in that relationship, and he's willing to carry the feminine. We know that because of, again, what do we hear from them both? They both were reared by single mothers, and what he's missing, maybe potentially, is some of that masculine, dominant, boundary keeping, executing energy that is needed to regulate a relationship in the way it must, right? To bring that leadership, into play. It's needed. So, and yes, just me, Sissy, the same woman he will keep on attracting because, again, when you hold a lot of feminine energy, not that he's a female, but a lot of feminine energy, you will end up dating more masculine men. It's unfortunately the truth. Being more feminine in your energy means you will end up dating more feminine, masculine women. And more masculine women will end up meeting more feminine men because the two energies must complement each other. And though I understand that there are people saying there are us, them, they, hey, he, them, I understand. But we only see two energies, feminine and the masculine. Okay. So yes, it's unfortunate, but until he switches that around, until he starts doing some masculine work. And again, it's not about that he's in touch with his feelings. It's not that. It's the qualities, the ability to even assert oneself is such an important thing. Look, I told you all, guys, I'm even going through my journey. I'm going through my journey of how to assert myself, how to stand up for myself and not wait and let it pile on. How to say, I don't like that right now. Sorry, that's not for me. How to be like that so that you don't let things pile on, because that's more again, it's more of the feminine energy to kind of accept the bull crap, let it pile on and then explode. No, the masculine energy lets you know this is a boundary. Masculine energy is a part of boundary keeping. That's why I said that everybody needs both masculine and feminine. Women need masculine and the feminine. Men need a masculine and a feminine. You need both. Okay. All right then. So yeah, it is what it is. All right, cool. So yeah, hopefully they'll get that sorted. But yeah, and also last thing is that, I they obviously got a great connection, but added to that, he actually admitted that he would sex her. And I said, Yep. I said, Yep, because she got the siren call. One day I'll be able to explain the different arts of seductions. I'm listening to it on the second time round, and guys, I'm really deep and I'm deep and I'm deep in it, but I need to listen to it again deeper. But the siren call, right? The siren call. It, yo, when they begin to sing, you just get dragged in, and when you have the sexual siren, oh, they're gonna finish you. The sexual siren, they're gonna finish you. They're gonna finish you because once they give you that sexual energy and they find you and you're not aware, you're gone. You're gone. And that's what she's gonna do to you. That's what Ray will prevent to you. That's what Ray will present to you, and you won't realize until you're underneath the sea, okay, drowning. All right, cool. So yeah, let's hopefully that he'll figure that out as it goes along quickly. Oh, sorry there, apologies. Let's see. Talking about our last few couples before we reach the end of the thing, baby. Yeah. So let's talk about Shanique, Randall, and Zay. Shanique, Randall, and Zay. We need to talk about them. We need to talk about them. Shanique, Randall, and Zay. Okay. Whew, I'm telling you now, baby. It's a lot. All right. Okay. Shanique, Randall, and Zay. So, Shanique, Randall, and Zay. Oh man, I don't even know what to even start. Like, I'm not sure why Shanique chose Zay. I don't know. But what she did say about the Randall situation immediately was she feels Nate asks her about her emotions, wishes, that Nate, no, wishes that Randall would be more, interested in finding out her emotional state. What I found interesting was Randall answering the question about why he doesn't want to marry Shanique in front of the group. I said, don't you not have any tact, any decorum? Don't you not have any sense of unity in your relationships? Why is it you're waiting till you're in front of the group to reveal this information? That, you know what? The reason why I said about the money situation, money isn't really an option. It's not really an issue. Do you know what it is? I said, what? Why is she finding this out now alongside a group that you feel pressured into marriage? Why aren't we having this convo in the comfort of your homes? Huh? Why are we not having conversations about this kind of stuff in the comfort of your homes? Why would you want to bring that information to the public forum? Why? Why was that not say, hey, do you know what? I just thought about the answer, but you know what? That's something that me and Miss are gonna talk about. Because unless you voice that to her, I don't see why you're voicing it to us first. That's what we call emotional violence, bro. I called that we call that emotional violence. Someone might even say emotional adultery, because what you've really done, or emotional, I should say, fornication or emotional cheating, because what you've really done is You've robbed your partner the opportunity to be emotionally and mentally intimate with you, because this is ideas and thoughts that you have. These are feelings and emotions you have. So emotions and feelings are emotional intimacy. Thoughts and ideas are mental intimacy. Those should have been shared in the comfort of a private room between you and your partner. Should have been told to us. That's why it becomes emotional cheating. That's why it becomes emotional adultery in marriages, because those are the ideas and thoughts and feelings and emotions should have been shared first and foremost for your partner. Should have, right? Should have been shared with me. I don't need to know that first. It's embarrassing, bro. Like your whole girl's gonna be embarrassed in front of the whole world, like, bro, right? And I get it. He probably will say, look, it's the first time you ever heard, first time you ever kind of thought about it properly, and it's come out. I get it, but you got to protect your brand, man. You got to protect your partner. Got to protect the person you're in a relationship with, you know? Um, and then she mentioned something really interesting. She said, you know what? She regrets bringing him to the show basically because she felt like she was in control. She felt like she had a handle on the situation. She felt like, you know what? It was about making him realize, and now she realizes she is not in control. Well, then, Shanique, you got to look at yourself deeply. Why is it that it looks like it's been a sign of control? Right? Why is it that we find ourselves in a space where you think that you're in control of these whole proceedings by bringing your man to a show where there can be other women he's going to date? Why did you feel you had that much power? Why did you feel you had that much control? Why did you feel like you had that much clout over this young man? That's also a problem. That's also a major problem. The fact that you felt you had this control in a relationship, right? Yeah, this is a good point. Because Randall did say that, yeah, he said that Shanique is like Michelle Obama, seems rehearsed, yeah. So she has this maybe perfect image of life, wants a certain lifestyle, wants a certain marriage, wants a certain kid. She wants to look at a certain way. But the truth of the matter is, babe, why have you been in a position where you thought you had control over him? And I'll tell you why I think it is. I think it's the intelligence. Can I be honest? I mean, listen, I don't want to disrespect the brother Zay. I don't want to. But when I hear him speak, I don't really hear the intelligence. You guys, I mean, so maybe, I didn't hear Zay's intelligence. But then also when I hear Randall speak, maybe there's a social class, maybe there's an intelligence kind of level, maybe there's that kind of thing. There's an air of arrogance on her part in that regard. Because she's chosen Zay, who's even, I think, even in terms of even intelligence, I don't know how much intelligence he's got either. No offense to him, I'm not trying to bash him or anything. It's just what it sounds like. I could be wrong. I know he's going for his particular degree and everything. Um, but the truth of the matter is, when you're seeing her, when you see yourself be, I love that message as well, which is if you are going to be someone that's going to control and be in a position where you literally don't want to be out of control, can you actually be vulnerable? You can't be vulnerable. You can't be vulnerable and want to control every proceeding. It don't work like that. That control will make you closed off. So you can't maneuver every little puppetry thing and be vulnerable at the same time. It doesn't work like that. Being vulnerable also means at times I have to let go of the strings and the things that I hold on to that give me power in order to be vulnerable with you. Can she do that? That's a question, right? Because it didn't take long for her to be sitting in a room with Zay and for her to be saying, I sleep naked, I eat naked, I cook naked, I da 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 da, and I need to have a sexual attraction to somebody. Oh yeah, you have attraction now to Zay. I know he slept in the in the couch. That's day one. Give it 3 or 4 days. It's gonna be day two, right? Give it 3 or 4 days. He'll be in the bed soon, right? It's gonna end badly, baby. That's what I'm gonna say. It's gonna end badly, baby. It's gonna end badly, baby. It's gonna end badly. So yeah, yeah, I'm not feeling their situation at the moment as well. Um, And so I'm looking at I look at Shanique, and I'm asking the key question here, which is, do you want a relationship, or also do you want a ring? Is that what you're looking for? Right? Is that what you're looking for? Are you looking for the ring? Now, you made a good point. You don't want to do anything with Zay. Oh, God. Oh, mercy. Sorry about that. She made a good point that she don't want to do anything unless he's going to be offering, marriage. Fair play. I'm with you on that. I don't actually disagree with that, right? But I'm like, look, sis, we're going to have to work on some few things here, right? The control issue, the perfectionist issue, that's going to be worked on. So, yeah, I think they got some uphill climbing to do. And her and Zay, I just don't see it. I think it's a bit of fun. I think it's nice. I think it's calm. I think if she wants to be with him, I'm going to be like looking at her like, then are you looking at the outer shell rather than the inward man? I don't know. Is that what you're looking at? Because that's how it feels a bit like to me. Who knows? And I'm not judged too tough. But then Randall and Madeline, let's deal with them. Randall and Madeline. Ooh, Randall and Madeline. So I'm gonna tell you what, Madeline is what we call. I want to find out. I can't remember what the seduction is. Is it a rake? It might be a rake or a siren. I can't remember. One of the two particular seduction techniques. I think it might be the rake. Might be the rake, or it might be either the rake or or it might be the siren. They are uninhibited when it comes to the sexual, right? And they don't mind being free. Okay. That freedom to be sexually uninhibited for men who are trying to be disciplined or controlled is very difficult to resist. Right? Because all we've heard from Madeline, right? All we heard from Madeline was, like someone just said it, she straight away knew Randall was her type. Their first kind of conversation, she let him know sexually, she's on it. She's got a high. Right? She's when you meet a woman or you meet a man, you know when they're carrying a lot of sexual energy, right? That you can see that one of their gifts, if you want to call it, or one of the way they seduce people is their sexual energy excites people, gets them to move, gets people to want them. And I think having been restricted with Shanique, who is maybe more rigid in her wanting to put on her mask and put on her, this very structured way of her doing things, wanting to make it a certain way. Her Michelle Obama prestige look has put him in a place now where someone who is random, free, uninhibited, doesn't give two hoots, makes her even more irresistible. Right? Having that freedom of somebody who just wants to do everything, freak, they want to just try everything. It's a complete change and contrast from where you come from, what you've dealt with. And so that in itself is a very strong allure and pull. Bearing in mind, we've got 3 weeks. It's a free pass. He might date her for a while, but he ain't going to stay. He might date her for a while, but he ain't gonna stay. But he gonna enjoy her because she carries a certain level of energy that he probably hasn't had for a very long time. That's not saying Shanika is not good at sex. That's not saying Shanika is not putting it down. It's to say it's not just the sex itself as an act. It's the whole allure. People ask, you want a good version of a siren? Angelina Jolie, I believe. She's probably a good version. I think she's probably a good version. Maybe in her younger days. That's that kind of immediately you see her, you just think, whoa, wouldn't mind. Whoa. Something. And when she speaks, you're like, oh my God. Right? Now, if you heard Randall, what did he say about Madeline? What did he like about Madeline? It's her voice. Right? People are born with these set of traits. It's not that she's putting it on. People are born with these set of traits that this is her seduction technique. Everyone has their own, right? So she knows how to utilize that to get her way. She's been waiting for it. She's been waiting for it. She's been waiting for that thing. But she offers something completely different, Madeline, to what Shanique offers. That maybe that lack of rigidity, lack of structure, lack of control. You know, I don't mind putting it down wherever. Let's go. I love that point there too. Love that point. Right? So that I believe is what's drawing Randall to Madeline. In all honesty. You know. Because I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I don't know what else draws him to it, because we ain't really seen much. And then the first night they slept in the same bed, what does she do? She's very clever. One thing about a siren also is this, yeah? A siren knows how to prolong the chase because they breadcrumb. So what did she do? Right? So what did she do? Yes, Miss H. Different traits attract different men. Yeah. And when I finally deep it for you guys, I'll bring the notes and we'll do a whole video on it. Right? She breadcrumbed Randall in episode 3. They got in. She's like, listen. She said, "Where you sleeping?" Right? I need you to deep this. Okay? I want you to deep this. I just need you to deep this. This is when you know you're dealing with a siren. Look at this. She said, "So where are we sleeping tonight?" He said, "Look, hey, whatever you feel like I should sleep, I don't mind." She said, "Well, I'm sleeping in a bed." Right? I'm sleeping in a bed. And then he then said, whatever happens in it, she said, and he then she ended up saying, "Well, you can sleep in the bed then." So he slept in the bed. But when they got to bed, what did she do? She put layers on and said, "Look, when you get to know me more, then I'll reveal the layers." I said, if this girl don't stop playing these games, I said, wow, this is what it looks like in action. Right? Because she invited him to the bed, said, "I'm cool with you being in the bed. Don't worry about that. You being in the bed, that's cool. That's great. That's fine." Right? Randall wasn't too, wasn't trying to beg it and jump in there. Right? Wasn't trying to straight up get into there, right? A lot. And, then, she spoke about the layers when they got into the bed. Maybe we'll talk what's for camera, who knows? But yeah. So I said, okay, scene in action is really interesting. Yeah, it's mad. So look, I'm gonna leave it there because I'm almost at my time. So that's episode 2 and 3. I'm gonna watch the rest of the episodes. I know a lot of you are already ahead of the game and stuff. It's been interesting. That's what I'm gonna say so far. So I'm gonna catch up over the course of the week. You'll see more videos from me as we go along. So like it, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of the uploads. We appreciate you guys. Stay locked. and stay loaded. We'll see you again very, very soon.
Little black book, you know what time